All right, welcome back. Today we're going to be making something fun. We're going to make a very basic door that you can walk through. Hooray! Okay, let's get started. We're going to make a part. This is going to be our door. Let's make it a decent size, right? I mean, that's not a door. I'm going to stub my toe on it type of door. So yeah, there's a door. We're going to go ahead and name it door. But now we don't want to be bashing our heads against the door, so let's go ahead and make a sensor part. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to name the sensor. We're going to make it invisible because we don't want people looking at it. And we're going to turn off Can't Collide because we don't want people colliding with it. Because if we leave it on, they're going to be like, what is this invisible step here? But if we turn that off, they'll walk right through it. They won't even know it's there. But you'll know it's there. Now, onto the actual scripting portion. Make a new server script and server script service. Let's go ahead and make our variables. And by habit, I put local in front of all my variables. You don't have to do it. They're still technically global variables. But whatever. Door. Door. Sensor. Workspace sensor. Great. So every part that you can collide with in Workspace has a touched event. So we're going to go ahead and call it sensor.touched connect. We're going to give it an unnamed function. So this is the same thing as creating a function, but this one does not have a name, but it is binded to the touched event. So every time the touched event is fired, it's going to run whatever code we have in here. Now, let's make it walk throughable. But first, we have to make sure it doesn't just detect anything that wanders into the sensor, right? So let's go ahead and filter this out by player. And how we're going to do that is we're going to say, well, first off, the touched event actually passes a parameter called, well, the first one is going to basically be whatever hits it. So if I print hit, let's go ahead and walk through it. See down here? Well, all right, guys. So apparently the issue was I forgot to anchor this, and it was going through the base plate and disappearing. So make sure your parts are anchored, okay? All right, now back to it. When I walk into it, you're going to see in the output all these wonderful things. It's hitting all my legs. If we go in the workspace, it's hitting all these. So to filter if a player is hitting it, I usually filter and check for a humanoid. So you see they're all children of the player. So we're going to have to go to the humanoid. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to say if hit.parent. So let's say hit is the leg. Now I'm referencing the player. We're going to use wait for child humanoid because the player may or may not have actually fully loaded in yet. Or maybe it'll error out for some reason. This is a good way to kind of keep it from erroring out because instead of directly finding a humanoid, it's going to wait and see if there is something called humanoid before running. So it'll help avoid any errors. Now we're going to say door can't collide equals false. Door transparency equals 1. We're going to wait about 30 seconds. And then we're just going to copy these two lines, paste them back down here, and just flip the values. Now it's going to turn invisible, walk throughable, to visible, to not being able to walk through it. Awesome. And I'm actually going to showcase this at the same time. We're going to add a print in here. Because there's one issue with the script still. See, it works perfectly. It works perfectly fine. But you see that? You know why that's happening? You see how many times it's running down here? It's because when you first touch it, it's running the top part of the script, while the other previous times you touched it, now it's after 3 seconds, it's not going to run this. So now they're kind of interfering with each other. So you got to add a debounce, which is basically a cooldown. And I usually set it to false. Then in the if statement, I add another requirement before it can run the code. And by that, I'm going to check to make sure debounce is false. If it is a player touching it, and the debounce is equal to false, we're going to go ahead and set debounce to true. But then at the very end here, we're going to add that cooldown. And I'm going to set it to about a second, set debounce to true, which will then make both of these statements true and let it fire again. Let's go ahead and test this. Look at that. In the output, you see prints A once. Go on. Oh, what now? Alright, guys, so I found the issue. I accidentally made it true at the bottom. You make it false. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Alright, back to the testing again. So, walk through it. Press A. See that? No matter how much I jump, no matter how much I run, it will not print 50,000 times. But yeah, that's how you make a door in Roblox. Hope this was fun and hope this was educational and I helped you out in making you a better scripter. See you all in the next video.